Hey everybody. So this is a familiar sound in the kitchen. It's one we hear all the time when we're sharpening the knives. As we know, sharp knife is one of the best tools any chef, any cook can have. But this sound, there's just something about it. It's rhythmic, it's soothing, it's kind of counterintuitive in a sense to the power of the knife. It's so sweet. One chef even remarked that it'll actually sing when it's cutting through the steel, honing the edge. I think we're ready to go. Nicely sharpened knife. I have a feeling of confidence with a nicely sharpened knife. We're going to work on a little chicken fabrication, so I urge you, I caution you, if you're squeamish about raw meat, poultry, bones, it's time to shut the video off and just avoid this one, because it's going to be, I don't think graphic is probably too strong of a word. It's going to be the real deal when it comes to chicken fabrication. So here we go. Got a whole chicken purchased at Market Basket, and what I start to feel immediately is just the flesh of the meat. I know from doing this many times it's going to release a lot of water. That liquid which has been injected into this, they say for moistness, I say it's to make extra money for selling water at a price per pound. I get most of that liquid out of there. Sometimes, dependent on how cold it was, these are always previously frozen. I find some ice crystals inside. Whenever I feel those ice crystals, I know that this is at optimum temperature. It's been kept cold so that it's going to last longer, have a longer shelf life. So right away inside, I'm reaching in to the cavity, and I get a neck bone and another neck bone. Feeling in, sometimes there's a packet here that contains the kidneys and the heart and the liver. That is not the case today. There's no guarantee that this neck belonged to this chicken. So we have it fairly well drained. I did glove up, as you can see, because it's time for surgery, and that's what I feel. I feel this is going to be surgery. I think that helps me deal with what I'm doing, because I never knew this chicken. I don't know if it had a name, and if it did, I didn't know it. I try not to think of this as a former eating, breathing, living, walking, talking, clucking animal, but I know that it was, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay that this is food. I don't call it what you will. Survival of the fittest, carnivorism. I'm okay with it. I'm going to break this down and fabricate it. This is a lesson that I do with all my students and anyone who's ever interested. Breaking down the bird. First thing I'll do, I'll just kind of go quickly. I'm sure many of you have done this before or know about it. And I'm going to quarter it first of all. I'm going to come right in, and there's a lot of, I'm feeling a lot of connective tissue here. It's slimy, slippery. I don't detect a strong meat smell here, which I think is good. I know sometimes dealing with raw meats, they can give an odor, particularly red meat, pork. I know if you've ever stepped into a butcher shop, there's certainly that pronounced smell. It's off-putting to some. I'm going to sneak right into, now I'm getting right into feeling the bones. There's a lot of sensations here that go with this. I have many students who are very squeamish, and as I mentioned, I know a lot of people are, and I respect that. I can understand that. But to me, it's about right now the anatomy of poultry, and I'm going to come right down here under this hip bone. Now, I've given these bones names, and I don't know if they're really the names or not, but I'm coming right under that hip bone, cutting down through. And here's where we just take drumstick, thigh bone, kind of pop that bone out. So that's would be probably a, I don't know if it's a ball and socket right there, but it pops out of the cartilage. Come down, tip of the knife. I usually use a boning knife for this, but I have a nice sharp chef's knife. Once in a while I can hear the sound of the knife cutting into the bone, and I try to cut against the bone, so I have to have a real strong feeling of a little resistance coming down. Little small snips. I'll try to turn this so that you can see where I'm cutting. Little connective tissue right there around the bone, around the bone. One thing I like and I prefer when it's dealing with the thighs, the two oyster muscles right there, these two bulbous muscles on the bottom. A lot of people just lance them right off, but I do very well to see if I can get in and sweep it out with the tip of the knife. So tip of the knife comes right in, get right along that area. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Hear the scrapes. I know that I'm doing a good job if I hear the scrapes. Definitely intently looking and watching what I'm doing. I'd imagine that there's butchers around the world who can do this with their eyes closed. I need to see, I need to feel. All extraneous skin right there. Slice it off. Full chicken quarter, set to the side. I'll do the same thing one more time. I'm trying to angle this to show you what I'm doing is a little challenging. Connective tissue, cutting across. There's the hip bone down there. Swing it around. Yeah, this might be a good angle. Could really use a videographer for these tasks. Cutting across, cutting across. Same thing now. It's that bone. I gotta pop it out. Little crackling of the bones. That's something that people do find off-putting, almost nauseating for some. Again, I'm not thinking about it that way. I think about this as the anatomy, and it's just these are the pieces, and I'm dissecting, almost as if it's a science project. Cutting under, across, and again end up with a chicken quarter. I'm trying hard not to be in my teaching mode right here, explaining all the things that I do. I'm trying very hard to draw in the senses. So it's a slow process. I'm feeling it. It's so much is about the feel. I know the wishbone is there. It has been split already. Yeah. Sometimes what I'll do if it's not, take the heel of the knife, crack it, and that will allow separation. Thumb's getting right in there. Let's see if I can show you. Use these fingers I usually just to kind of slowly tease it away. So it's a pretty intimate situation here where you really have to just go for it and use the knife as an extension of one's hand. And I'll do this without gloves if needed, but I prefer being able to go right in without having some of that sliminess, without having to worry about getting chicken residue under my fingernails. It's not what I'm looking for at all. I can still hear some sounds coming across the bone. Here's what I call the shoulder bone. I know there's a tendon right inside there, a very small tendon. So I'm going to show you right here. That's the little tendon coming right under, which is just holding this whole thing in place. Tip of the knife is holding that up by the little tendon. I think it slipped out. Yeah, and I'm going to slice it off. Think about the knife, it'll cut through the cartilage. Softer, less sound. Hit a bone, you know you're wrong, you got to just go under. I'm going to sneak underneath there, get all that rib meat. Comes on underneath. Sometimes you'll see at the store where it says chicken breast with rib meat. So they want to sell you this rib meat under here for the same price that they're selling the boneless, skinless chicken breast. There we have the breast, and then we're going to kind of get even closer into it now. We're going to locate the specific muscle, the tenderloin, get underneath it, and it should stretch and pull right out. And now I have the wing here. The wing is fascinating to me. It really shows how well this animal works. So the connective tissue and the ligaments and everything and the bones and everything working right here. If I hold the flat right there and the wingtip, I can move that little drumette. See it go? Everything's connected all the way. So I feel pretty connected to this. I'm going to take that tip, slice through. Here's where we're really feeling, because the first time I went on the bone, it's not going to work. Second time, right through, a little bit of the bone. Let me check to see where I want to go. That's easy enough to slice through that soft cartilage right there. It's going to happen again. I have to feel, where are those joints connected? How can I separate them easily? With experience, you usually end up getting a feel for right where it is, so that you can cut right through the white cartilage. Set the pieces aside. So I have some pieces that are set away for later consumption. Some pieces are going to be for a stock. So I won't do the entire bird. I'll just show you, I guess, half of it, how I'll clean it up. I have to feel for this. It's so important to feel for this chicken breast, because if I do not, somebody is going to chomp down and get this wishbone jammed into their teeth or jaw, surprisingly, in their chicken parmesan. I don't know. We've got to make sure that that is nowhere to be found in the final meal. A little bit of extraneous fat. I save everything for stock. That leads. So when I'm doing this, I'm not thinking about what it is. I'm getting a thought of, what am I going to do with it? What's it going to become? It's a whole process to me. This is the beginning. I don't have anything to do with the farming, the growing, the delivery. To me, it's, I have the product, and where is it going to go from here? And that's up to me. Here's the chicken quarter. I'll do a quick pull the fat there. Here's where we have two bones that I know by visual sight here. That fat yellow strip right there, it's always going to be where the two joints connect. Take the tip of the knife. Now I get in. Can I feel between those joints? I think I can. Always pinching, feeling. If I know where it is, it'll slice right through. The last part of the deboning I will show you is the thigh, where the thigh is something I purchase mostly for my cooking of chicken. There's a yellow strip of fat right there, which I can always see. I can feel the bone, see where the ends come out. Just take the knife, and this time I want to cut right into the bone. Into the bone. It's going to inevitably come to one side as it rounds off. I'll cut down a 1/4 inch or so, and then come on the other side, right against the bone, feeling for the knife to just slowly cut under until I can again pinch. Once I can pinch, I can pierce, cut down. The bone comes out, set aside for stock, and then more feeling, making sure I don't want this hard piece of cartilage right here. That white piece right there, that's going to make an unpleasant experience for someone. If we don't remove it, it would not cook off. And it goes with the stock. So a nice boneless chicken thigh. I elect to keep the skin on for most cooking, because it's going to give a lot of flavor, and it can be removed by whomever would like to. One thing we see that the butchers do in the stores, they're not going to put it in the packaging like this. They're going to pull that skin up, and make it look more presentable in that way. So these are things that I encounter when I'm deboning or fabricating chicken. It's mostly just feel and sight, limited smell. The feelings that I get, though, isn't all about touch, because I'm thinking, I'm feeling it. What is this going to be? What foods will we get from it? So that leads to the second part of this. I gotta ditch the gloves. One glove in, hold it, get underneath that other one. To the trash we go. So, and other feelings that I need to feel clean before I do anything after doing that. So it's a pretty important thing to remove all that potentially harmful bacteria so I can do something comfortably. I want to be at ease now. I don't want to have any bacteria dancing around my kitchen. What I do want to show you, so it's about the chicken bones. I'm going to title this one Bones to Broth. Let's see if we can see what's happening here. So if that was the before, maybe this is the after. Got a nice chicken broth going. Really, that's a chicken stock because there's bones in there. That's from a previous supply of bones that I had. So the feelings that I get from that broth, obviously aroma. There's just such a pleasant smell of that emanates throughout the kitchen. When people walk in, they just say, what are you cooking? Smells good. Just a simmering chicken stock alone. I also get the feeling, I can hear it. I can hear the flame. I can hear an occasional bubble. And it evokes a pleasantness of having that. It's in stark contrast, very stark contrast, this peaceful simmering compared to that harsh, butchery of animal bones. But it's what this is going to lead to. I don't know if it's going to be chicken soup. I don't know if it's going to be a stew. I don't know if we're going to use it in rice. I have no idea what this is going to be for, but I know it's something that I use in a lot of my cooking, and I enjoy it. I enjoy being able to do it. I enjoy that it pleases people. Certainly, I didn't even talk about taste yet. I certainly wouldn't taste raw chicken, but I would certainly taste that stock when it's done, and it's gonna lead to more taste sensation. So this is just the beginning, where I mentioned it already has a history behind it as far as the farmer and all that was done there. I have it now, it's in my possession, and it's moving on to other things. So it's a very extended, I hate to say the word life, history is the better word, I suppose, that this chicken has had. Alive and then dead. But it's going to keep on feeding my friends and family and keeping us alive and healthy. So I guess that's the deal, ultimately. So thanks for watching. This went longer than I thought. Sorry to take up all your time. But we'll see you again. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. I should have taken notes to say what did I always want to include. I'm going with it.